Bonjour. Comment dit-on? Zoe. This was my piercing tour video that I was talking about. But first I'm showing my fit for the documentation because it kind of cleared right now. I'm not gonna lie. Except for these, like, come on. Oh, what up? It's giving. Well, I was wrong. It's giving. Okay, this fit is actually not that cool, but it looks good. It looks good on me. Although I saw 2 other bald baddies on campus today. Now that the weather is getting hot, they're coming out. And I thought I was the only one, so I'm gonna have to step up my game if I want to remain a bald baddie supreme. Anyway, piercings. New location. I tried really hard to frame it so the ceiling fan wasn't in it, but because that bothers me when I watch videos. But it's either that or have good lighting, and I'm looking kind of dusty. So, first this is nothing to do with the video, but I got packages that I want to open. Just 2, okay? Don't be mad. What is this? Oh, it's literally not even interesting. It's stuff for my car. I've decided, okay, first, it's just this, because I really need one. Because my phone be sliding all over the place when I have it up on the dash. It's so dangerous. I don't know how I'm alive even. I've accepted that Declan is a boy car. I've been calling him her, you know, I would love to have a little girly car, but it's a guy. But he's like a really pathetic guy, you know? Like, he's so pathetic, but he's a guy, but he's so pathetic, you know? So that helps me come to terms with it. I got some pink license plates. I don't know why I'm opening it now because I just said what it was. Oh, that's so cute. That's a cute color. And Declan is black, of course. A black man. Oh, a black man. I'm quickly losing light. This was like the worst possible position to be filming this. Ah! That hurted. This is literally the worst possible angle. I think this is better. Okay. So, what I want to talk... First of all, I don't even know if the video is going to continue because we're out of Wi-Fi again for the 3rd time in like... Actually, this is like the 6th time since I moved in last... Oh my god. Wait, was it August? 2021 was last year. No need to worry. Since last year. They said 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. and it's... What time is it? It's 5:30 and there's still no Wi-Fi. So I'm talking about my piercings because I love them. I hate them. I love them so much. I hate them. I wish I never got them. I almost cried when I gave my rook and my other piercings. Wish I had never gotten them. Would not trade them for the world. So, in order of the ones that I got them, pain scale, my whole journey with them. That's so stupid. My experience being a bad mother is what I'm going to talk about. I keep a list, this visible list of the ones that I got and retired and what time I got them. I've been obsessed with Rob McElhenney lately, but not in like a mentally ill way. It's not relevant to the video. Anyway, first lobes. I'm gonna try and do this in the least disgusting angle way possible. First lobes, this one has 2 jewelries in them. And then this one. I'm literally just hoping that it's showing. And if it's not, I'm gonna upload the video anyway. I got these when I was a baby. A bib. If I was Scottish, I would say a baby. No, they say wee bairn. Oh, that was so good. I got them when I was the wee bairn. I just put 2 in here because it was pierced probably with a piercing gun because I was barely conscious, and not in read Lynn Lohide's blog because I was 3 months old and I didn't know that I had skin. So probably pierced with a gun. Somehow it healed, probably because I again was not conscious and couldn't walk around and get stuff dirty. All I did was sleep and throw up and and whatnot. So obviously very well healed. I've just put this regular earring in it. This is like 16 gauge or something. Obviously no problems ever. Okay, second lobes. I begged for these for years, and she was like, you can get more piercings when you turn 18. My 16, no, because I asked when I was like 14 if I could get more piercings, and they're like, no, wait till you're 18. My 16th birthday comes around. I'm talking about like getting earrings when I'm 18. She's like, yeah, go ahead, get them. You can go get them, huh? This is why. So I tried to go to Claire's. I really wanted to go to Claire's. Again, I still hadn't like researched about piercings that much. I did start research, but not that much. So I wanted to go to Claire's, and we went in and we like walked around, and she was like, no, we're leaving. And I was so angry. And instead we went to the doctor, who charged, oh, I'm talking about prices too, who charged $60 for both lobes. It's probably like stainless steel. And you know what? I got just as bad of an experience at the doctor's as I did at Claire's, because she also pierced with a gun, blunt force trauma, with a butterfly back, and I was in excruciating pain. The piercing itself did not hurt at all. It was like a pinch. 2, 3 out of 10. Overall, okay experience. Like, she was very careful and like sanitary, whatever, but it was with a gun and a butterfly back jewelry, so it never fully healed. Like, it was like months and months of pain and like bleeding. It was just, and she said twist it every day and clean it with rubbing alcohol. So I was set up from the beginning. I was set up. As you can see, I still have the scar from that second lobe. It didn't heal. Surprise, it didn't heal at all. I remember just like laying in bed trying to go to sleep, and I couldn't because the pain was so much. So I'd have to take the earrings out and then force them back in the morning, and then take it. It was a lot. Yeah. I don't know how this one survived, but it did. I have this clicker I just got from Body Art Forums, but overall it's healed. That was how many years ago? Oh my gosh, I was 16. That was like 4 years ago. Ooh, but yeah, they're pretty healed. They're healed. That experience overall though was like a 2 out of 10. The piercing was fine, but the healing was a nightmare. I should have done more research. We should have gone to a piercer and not a doctor, so it's whatever. It's said and done now. Third piercing is this one, my highest helix. So I got this one when I was 18. I went to California with Redacted, and I stayed with them for a while for my birthday celebration. We went to a actual piercer's place. It was like this really nice upscale piercing only dedicated facility. So nice. I would go back in a heartbeat. I think it was Envy Body Jewelry, Envy Body Piercing, something like that. We have San Diego and an LA location. So nice, very clean. That was 50. It was either 50 or 55, including the jewelry, which was a threadless jewelry. I had never even heard of that before. The best kind. I have a hate-love relationship with threadless jewelry, but it was so good for me, especially having come from this experience. I think it was titanium. I still don't know if it was titanium or steel, but it's never caused me any problems. The piercer was so nice, very sterile, and it hurt though. I don't know if it was just because I hadn't had any other cartilage piercings, but it's like a 5 out of 10. I heard the crunch when it went through, and the people with me did too, and I was like, It was a lot. The crunch is what got me, I think. But I was very, very happy with it. Other than that, like, painless, pretty, okay. The healing was a lot. Me and her have a history. It's been, a very toxic relationship, but she's healed now. The healing process was a lot. It took like 1.5 years to 2 years. I think we're coming up on the 3rd year now. We worked it out. We figured out our problems. There was just a lot of mistakes on my end, which was why I didn't heal that well. Okay, the third one, fourth one was my 3rd lobe which one has this little horseshoe in it that looks like a stud. I think it's twisted. There we go. Third lobe, and then what conch was this? I think it was the bottom conch, the one with the green. You can't see it very well, but it has a little green glass labret in there. You see it at all? Am I showing anything? And I got those both at the same time. That shop was the shadiest place I've ever been. Nastiest attitudes. I went there with Jordan, and I really wanted to have a good experience. I like actually researched this time. Ever since I got my helix, that's when I started to like really get into like piercings. So I did a lot of research. They had great reviews, you know, seemed very clean. They had a coupon deal. We get there, and the guy on the desk, the nastiest attitude, he was also the piercer, and he kept interrupting me when I was asking questions. And when Jordan asked the question, he was like, yeah, that's what I just said. Like, already, okay, I'm not feeling this at all. But at the time, like, I was still very new to, like, piercing etiquette. So I was like, okay, this is a tattoo shop. It's whatever. Like, they're going to be a little short with you. And I didn't have a lot of autonomy. Like, I felt like I had to, like, whenever it's, like, me as a customer and, like, an employee experience, I always feel like I have to submit in a way. This is not, there's nothing to do with this. This is completely problems I need to address in a little bit. I'm a licensed professional. Basically, I was saying that I was too scared to say anything, so I just went with it, because it's like, okay, just get the piercing, let's go. I tried to use the coupon. He was like, this is for tattoos only. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Overall, I think it was like $70 for both. I don't know, 70, 75. So we go back there, and Jordan gets hers pierced with butterfly backs, I think, which was like, already first red flag. And then I go in, he sits me down, he like marks my ear and everything. And while I'm telling him where I want this one, I'm like, so I want it like a little bit in between. He's like, yeah, I got it. Okay. Red flag number, 7? I don't know. He like cleans my ear with his Q-tip. Red flag number 8. And he's like, bro, your ear is dirty. I'm like, what? I said, no, it's not. And he's like, yeah, it is. Look at this. He shows me earwax, which is in my ear. Red flag number 10, why are you telling me, like, I'm dirty? He was like, oh, bro, your ear is dirty. I was like, this man, And so I was, like, giving it back to him. Like, I'm not, at this point, I was fed up with him and his attitude. And he thought it was, like, funny and, like, flirtatious. And he was talking about oh, where you work at, I might come visit. No. First of all, I was, like, 19. He was, like, 30-something. Just disgusting attitude overall. I hated that whole experience. He pierces me. This one, 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10. This one, he pierced me with a 14 gauge without telling me. Standard is 16. He pierced me with a 14 without telling me. He was in there for a good minute, just twisting and 9 out of 10. I've never been in that much pain during a piercing ever. I was about to cry. Like, it was just silent, like him, like, heavy breathing in my ear, just twisting the jewelry, and he was having such a hard time. I almost cried. 9 out of 10 pain. And that caused so much unnecessary trauma for the healing process, but I'll talk about that in a second. So I get out, and I'm just like, I'm done with the experience. We're done. So we're walking out. He goes, no tip? No tip. But I threw him a 5 because I was like, oh, fine, whatever. Like, $5. You get $5. I should have given nothing. No tip. Disgusting bedside manner. Disgusting attitude. I don't remember where this is. It was like some weird like shop. I don't remember what it was called. But I hope they got out of business. The healing process was brutal. This whole part of my jaw swelled up. And I had like a knot right here. Like as big as like what? What is a thing-sized thing? Like a large, like one of those large peanuts that you get from Five Guys. That's how big it was. An uncracked peanut. And I was like, I have cancer. I'm gonna die, obviously. No, I didn't. But my whole jaw swelled up. I, again, remember going to sleep and then just keep waking up. The pain was so bad. So I had to take like ibuprofen, and I slept with an ice pack for 3 days. And then it finally went down a little bit. And I know, like, when I got my second conch, it was similar, but I know that for the fact that the amount of time he was in there digging around my ear, piercing me with a 14 gauge, and not being able to put the jewelry in all the way, that caused so much unnecessary trauma and tension in my jaw. That's why it hurt so bad and it swelled up so bad. So again, I hope you lose your job. I hope you drive your car into a ditch. Next piercing. 5 months after I got my Brooke, it's no longer there. Rest in peace to her. I don't know if you can see the scar or not, but I got this one at Gypsy Rose Tattoo. I love them. I don't know if I can go back to them now, or if I would go back knowing what I know about piercing now. But very, very sweet people. Mostly women. I think it's women owned. I know a woman and her husband run it, and then the rest of the staff is women. Overall, very nice environment. After the conch experience, I made a vow to never get pierced by a man again, and I haven't. And it's been a great ride since then. I specifically went to them because they were women owned. They were 45 minutes away. I drove the whole way. They did use externally threaded jewelry, which I had gotten afterwards ever since accepting the Helix, which was the threadless one. They used externally threaded jewelry, which isn't great, and it was steel, which isn't top tier, but I've never had that bad of a reaction to good steel. Yeah, overall, really nice experience. I miss her so much. It ended up rejecting. They didn't pierce me too shallow. I think I messed with it so much. I didn't fully heal ever, I think, but I kept changing the jewelry out. So I think that is what also caused it to have a lot of trauma that caused it to reject. Because the healing process after that, it was like a 5 or 6 out of 10. I don't really remember. The only thing I really remember is that conch and my lobes. It wasn't bad. Overall experience was like a 9 out of 10. But yeah, I just kept switching the jewelry out, and I think that really contributed to how quickly it came out. Although I did get this January of 2021, she survived a year, so yeah, I never rejected. Oh. Living with white people, you're never really alone, because you will find one of their hair somewhere. Healing was not bad. It's kind of hard to clean. I did use Q-tips. I admit it. I'm a Q-tip user. I clean my piercing with Q-tips sometimes. Okay. After that, what is a low helix? Okay, I wrote low helix, but I don't know what that means. I'm gonna assume it's this one. I just put a ring in it. I'll talk about that later. Oh, the rook, by the way, was $40, I believe, including jewelry. So not bad. I did that one myself. I did that one myself with a needle. I've got on Amazon. Very, very unsanitary. I put a stud in it. I think I had the same stud that they originally pierced my lobe with. Horrible, horrible idea. I had a furry Microsoft helmet. A furry. The guy above me is a serial killer, by the way. Oh yeah, I pierced it with a needle in my dorm room. Honestly, it could have been worse, is what I'm trying to say. Like, considering everything, it could have been a lot worse. But it's very, very low. It's very close to the edge. But it's how long was it? February 2021. It lasted longer than my rook. It's been past a year. We're all okay. It's still healing. It's still healing, which is not a good sign. But, you know, all things considered, I love her. You know, not the best job. It was free. So, but I don't know that I would pierce my ears again in the current day. But the jewelry was fine. That's probably why it healed pretty well. I used an actual piercing needle, so I don't have much to say about this experience. It's been an on and off healing, maybe like a 4 or 5 out of 10, a whole experience. My 4th lobe and my vertical helix. So I got this one. You can barely see because I got a tiny little spike in there. This one and this one, which you can't even see anymore. It's like a scar, just like on this ear. That's crazy. Can you see it at all? Am I showing anything? I went to Ace's Tattoos and Piercing. Why am I so enthusiastic with this video? I feel weird. How can I bring bad energy back into this video? That's what I need to always ask myself. That experience was like, at the time, it was great. I loved it. There are some like unrelated things that kind of added or were kind of like red flags. Like the fact that I went to get a belly button piercing, and the front desk woman, she was also my piercer. And you know when they check you for anatomy, they have to like look and like pinch your tissue to see if they have enough. So she had me like lift my shirt in the middle of the shop. Like when you walk in, it's the front desk on like past you. So I was like there in the middle of the shop with my shirt up while she like bent over and like pinched my belly button. Which at the time, like I don't really care about that. Like I wasn't like embarrassed, but like you have to that doesn't offer the customers privacy. You never know if they're comfortable or not. I was comfortable, but someone else could not have been, and she didn't consider that. So I think that's adding to the red flags. But she, you know, she like sanitized me, she marked me, she was very nice, very kind. So I think I was originally trying to get a helix, and then just like a regular one, and then she was like, oh, what? Or I don't remember how it happened, but it changed to this one. I got one on the top, and I was like, that's really cool. That jewelry was $25 or $35, I don't remember, somewhere around there, really cheap. And she pierced me with a curved barbell, which up until like fairly recently, I didn't think was like weird. But then I was looking at a bunch of other examples, and none of them had curved barbell. They all have a straight labret, and I was like, is this wrong? And back to the piercing, very quick, pretty painless, maybe like a 4 or 5. Jewelry was super cute. I was super happy with it. And then I went home and did this one. It was so crooked and so... It's just probably the worst piercing I've ever done. I had to take it out eventually. But I did it in my dorm at that same night, and it went pretty well. Like, it healed fairly well. Fast forward, I don't even know how long. I had a regular earring in it, like an 18 gauge with a butterfly back, and one day it just like randomly started bleeding. And by this time I had been cleaning with saline. Like I knew not to use rubbing alcohol or twist or anything. Like I was fairly well versed with it. I looked and it was just like randomly bleeding, and that doesn't happen to my piercings very often. And I look like closer and I see that where originally was like right here, the jewelry, it was down here. Like the jewelry had moved through my skin. Like it had migrated. It was at the very edge, and I said, nah. And I took it out immediately, and I wiped it down, and I left it alone ever since then. So I knew, like, this is not realistic. Like, it was almost out of my ear, like, hanging on. So that was the first case of my piercings migrating or rejecting. And I also contributed that a lot to, first, me doing it really crooked and badly in my dorm room by the light of a Target lamp, and just taking the jewelry out way too soon and putting really thin, much thinner jewelry in, which created the cheese cutter effect. I don't think that's what happened to my rook. All the jewelry was pretty much the same size, but I did mess with it a lot. Like, a lot. Like, I had jewelry changes, like, every 2 weeks. It was not good, especially while I was still healing. So, RIP to that one. I don't really miss her. It was in a really weird spot, and it was badly pierced, so, yeah. But, this one, what prompted me to look at other people's vertical helixes was the fact that it hurt all the time, like 24/7. It never stopped hurting. Like, whether I touched it or not, it was just there, always throbbing, like every second of the day, every second of the night. And I would leave it alone. I wouldn't touch it, and it still hurt. And I was like, this cannot be right. So, and the jewelry itself was pretty small. Like, it did not have a lot of room to begin with for swelling. Like, it didn't need to be downsized. It was already so small and tight. But I didn't swell a lot anyway. But so the fact that it was hurting all the time was like, this is really strange. So I looked around and I was like, is this supposed to have a curved barbell in it? And apparently they're not. You're not supposed to be pierced with that. You're supposed to be pierced with a straight labret. At that time, I was working at a restaurant, or I was about to work at a restaurant, so I had to take all of them out anyway. Every time I would like turn it or twist it, it would throb for like a full minute, and I had to like take a step back before I could touch it again. So I was taking all my jewelry out. I could not get it out. Like, I was almost crying, like in pain. Like, could not get it out no matter what. I used gloves. I had like a grip with scissors. Last one in there. I called a piercing place because I was like, I'm gonna have to get someone to take this jewelry out because I cannot do it. And I had like worked the next day, my first day. So I called them. I was like, how much is it? Like, where are you guys located? Like, I can't. So last resort, and I knew I didn't have time. So I was like, I gotta get this out myself. So last resort, I went my garage and I got the toolbox. And I took out some of those pliers, like the ones that grip. I don't know if those are pliers. It's whatever. I'm too hot for that. And I ripped the ball on the top with the pliers, and I was there like trying to slowly turn it. It took everything out of me, and I finally got the ball off, and I took it out, and it was just throbbing. And I had to wait for it to cool down, and then I put the plastic retainer in. Plastic already, Zoe. But I was poor. I literally had $7, so I got like a 12-pack of retainers off Amazon. They were plastic, which honestly did better than I thought they would. Like, I didn't hurt that much. Like, it didn't do that much damage, but not the best choice. But I put that in, and while the plastic was in a straight labret, it healed better than it had with the curved one. And I knew that it was not supposed to be like that. It was not supposed to be that small and tight, because it was like through the top, but through kind of like, if this is like the curve of my ear and this is like the skin, does this make sense? It was through the top and then through the curve, so it was a pretty thick area right there, which did not accommodate for, like, if you bump it, then it's gonna, a curved barbell in there is gonna like twist into like a thick part of my cartilage in my ear. So that's why it hurt so much. Even with the plastic in, it felt so much better. And since then, I've had a straight labret in, even after I had to take even after I switched from my retainers. Is this crooked? I'm just noticing. So after that was my second conch, the one with the spike in it. Love her. I love my conches. Like, my conches are my best healers. I loved my rook. My conches are my best healers, though. So I got the second conch back at Gypsy Rose. I went back there. So much better than the first time. I was like nervous. I told her like, what size are you piercing me with? And she said 16. That's the standard. And I was like, really? Because I got pierced with a 14 gauge, and I thought you were supposed to do that because the cartilage is thick or whatever. And she was like, no, it's usually 16. And I was like, again, I hope you lose your job. Speakers over here. I hope you lose your job. I hope you lose your job and drive your car in the ditch, and they don't find you for 3 days. It was a much better experience. It hurt still because it's a thick part. Maybe like a 6 out of 10 though, compared to the 9. Like, she was in and out real quick. Put the jewelry in. We're done. 10 times better. I don't know what he was doing. Don't know what he was doing. That was, I think, $50, including the jewelry. I'm not counting the tips, by the way, because I don't remember usually, and except for the $5 tip, because you know how much he didn't deserve that from me. He didn't deserve a dime from me. Not a whole lot to say about that conch. Again, healed really fast. Like, it's healed. I've never had a problem with healing my conches. I don't know why. Maybe because it's in such a inaccessible area, but even with the masks like right up on it, it's fine. Like, it barely hurts. My jaw did swell up again for 3 days. I did have a little bit of a knot, but overall still significantly better. I think it's just because the tissue or the cartilage is so thick there. It's obviously gonna have some pain, but overall so much better. Okay, I'm at 35 minutes and I'm quickly losing light and I need to hurry up. Mid helix. Oh, I had one right here, right under this ring. That one I got in June of 2021. Really? Wow, I thought it's been way shorter than that. I recently gave this one up. It was just causing me, it was my problem piercing. The worst piercing I've ever had. Compared to this one, or second in line, no, first in line, this is second in line. What am I saying? This one was the worst I've ever had. It was fine for a good amount of time, considering that I pierced that one too. And I think I originally put a ring in, which is like, that can't be that one. Is it? It seemed like it was so much sooner than that. Obviously, it wasn't June 2022 because that hasn't happened yet. It lasted a good amount of time considering, all things considered. But, like, recently, it started, like, just, it was not healing. Like, it was, like, it's really gross. I'm gonna say something gross. It was, like, gooey, icky, crusty, bloody. It was a lot. And there was, like, a whole, like, irritation bump behind my ear. And it was just, like, leaking off. I remember I was getting my hair dyed. And it was just like bleeding. Wow, it was a lot. It was disgusting. And I think it may be because I got this one soon after, and it was like right up on it, like irritating a little bit. But I got RIP to that one. I don't really miss it. I don't really miss it. I like the placement, but it was causing me so much trouble, and it was so gross, and I shouldn't have done it in the first place. So RIP to her. High Helix November 2021. So that is this one. I also pierced this one with a ring. It's given me a little bit of problems. Overall, it was doing better than the one below it that I retired, but I pierced this one as well. It's pretty crooked, but you couldn't tell with the ring, so I put a ring in, and I didn't want to wait because I'm impatient. And it was healing okay. I had some okay jewelry in it, but recently I switched to titanium hoop, and it's so much better. Like, it's still healing, obviously, it's fairly new, but it's healing 10 times better. So most of my jewelry is titanium now, except for the ones in my lobes, because it doesn't really matter, but everything else is titanium or glass. And my ear is doing so much better. But that one is doing pretty well, honestly. I hope it heals all the way. So I'll have one success story of it. I think this one may reject in a while. I hope it doesn't, but it may. But this one is going to be my success story. This is my golden child. Last but not least, my flat and my lowest lobe / helix. So my flat, this green one right here. And then my low lobe, you can barely see because it's so dark right now, but it's like a tiny little spike. I got this done at Midgard Tattoo Company. Honestly, a stellar experience. They were so professional, so clean. Honestly, the only thing is, I thought the placement was lower than it was. I wish it was a little bit lower, but I don't really mind that much. I can always get another one right below it or put like a dangle in it, so it like gives the illusion. But such a great experience. I think it was a buy one get one free, so I got both of them for $50. The jewelry was $25 each, so the whole thing altogether was $100. And then I bought a bunch of jewelry, so that was another $100. That doesn't matter though. And then I tipped like 20, like 30, 20, I don't remember. So I spent a lot of money that day, but I don't regret it. I got a bunch of good stuff. I got my real jewelry that day. She's sitting in the bag now, empty. I hurt so much. The flat hurt a little bit. That one was maybe like a 7. Yeah, 6 or 7. And then the lobe was like a 3 or 4, because it's still cartilage, but it's like very thin and fairly soft. I got the lobe first, or I got the cartilage first because I knew it was gonna hurt more. And I wanted to have enough adrenaline left for the lobe. But overall, that's my year. We have plans for the future. I'm thinking about getting an orbital over the spike, and then maybe another flat, another conch. I would like to get a tragus, but I cannot sacrifice my earbuds. I wear them. People are like, you only have to give up your earbuds for like 6 months and you're good. I wear my earbuds every single day, almost all day. So that's not gonna happen for me. I've been wanting to tell somebody this whole story for so long. And now I'm forcing my iPad to, so 40-minute story. All good. Yeah. That's it.